When life gets hard, it often feels like the weight of the world has settled on our shoulders, pressing us down, draining our energy, and leaving us wondering if we have the strength to continue. But it's in these exact moments of struggle that we have the greatest opportunity to grow, to become stronger, and to discover parts of ourselves we never knew existed. Because adversity, though painful, carries with it the seeds of resilience, wisdom, and eventual triumph if we are willing to approach it with patience, perspective, and perseverance. The first thing to remember when life gets hard is that difficulty is not a permanent condition, but a passing season. Just as night inevitably gives way to dawn, pain and hardship are temporary phases that eventually lead to growth or relief. So telling yourself, "This too shall pass," can be a lifeline, a reminder that nothing stays the same forever, and clinging to that truth can help you hold on during the darkest hours. But beyond simply enduring, it's also essential to adjust your mindset, because the way you view hardship will determine how you navigate it, meaning you can either see it as an unbearable punishment that breaks you, or as a training ground that shapes you into someone wiser, stronger, and more prepared for the future. Many people who went through hard times, leaders, thinkers, survivors, later reflected that those very struggles forged the best parts of their character. So when life gets hard, rather than asking, "Why me?" try asking, "What can I learn from this? How can this pain prepare me for what's ahead?" Because reframing the struggle gives it meaning, and meaning is what keeps us moving when we feel like giving up. And yet, mindset alone isn't enough. You also need practical action steps to stabilize yourself in the storm. So one of the most powerful things you can do is break down overwhelming problems into smaller, manageable pieces, because hardship often feels paralyzing, not only because of the pain itself, but because it seems too big to handle all at once, like trying to move a mountain with your bare hands. But if you take it stone by stone, day by day, you'll find progress is possible. For example, if your difficulty is financial hardship, rather than drowning in the panic of debt, you can begin with small steps, setting a budget, cutting unnecessary expenses, finding additional income sources, tiny changes that slowly shift the direction of your life. Or if the hardship is emotional pain, like heartbreak or loss, then your small steps might mean reaching out to a friend, journaling your feelings, or simply focusing on making it through the day without demanding too much of yourself. Because healing is a process, not an instant event. And one of the most overlooked but essential actions when life gets hard is asking for help. Since many people isolate themselves when struggling, thinking they must endure silently to prove their strength. But in truth, leaning on others is not weakness, it is wisdom, and it is human. Because we were never meant to face life's hardest storms alone. Calling a trusted friend, confiding in family, seeking professional guidance, or even joining a support group can provide not only practical advice, but also emotional strength. Because knowing that someone understands or simply cares enough to listen can give you the courage to keep fighting when your own strength feels gone. And alongside seeking help from others, it is equally important to take care of yourself in simple, tangible ways that sustain your body and mind. Because when life gets hard, self-care often slips away. We eat poorly, sleep less, neglect exercise, and drown in worry. But that only weakens us further. Whereas something as simple as getting enough rest, walking outside in fresh air, drinking water, or practicing deep breathing can stabilize your nervous system and give you just enough energy to face the next challenge. And never underestimate the power of routines in hard times, because when everything feels uncertain and chaotic, even small daily rituals like making your bed, journaling, praying, meditating, or reading something uplifting can create a sense of structure and control that reminds you not everything is falling apart. And speaking of control, another key to surviving hard times is focusing on what you can control instead of obsessing over what you cannot. Because much of the pain of hardship comes from the mental spiral of what-ifs and if-onlys, which trap us in frustration. But peace begins when you redirect your energy to the things within your reach, like your attitude, your daily habits, your responses, and your effort. And in this shift, you begin to reclaim power, even in powerlessness. Also, keep in mind that when life gets hard, it's easy to forget gratitude. Yet gratitude is a hidden weapon against despair. Because while it might feel impossible to be thankful in the middle of suffering, training yourself to notice even small blessings, like a warm meal, a kind smile, a roof over your head, or simply the gift of being alive, can shift your perspective from hopelessness to resilience. As gratitude doesn't erase the pain, but it balances it with reminders of what is still good. And this balance strengthens your ability to endure. But enduring hardship is not only about surviving, it's also about finding meaning in the struggle. And history shows that those who can assign purpose to their pain are more likely to come out stronger, whether it's using their story to inspire others, discovering hidden strengths, or developing compassion that makes them kinder human beings. Because hardship, though brutal, often prepares us to help others in ways we never could have if life had always been easy. And as you go through tough times, remind yourself that your story may one day be the survival guide for someone else who feels like giving up. And in that sense, your endurance is not only for you, but for the many lives you might touch through your example. And while holding on to that perspective, remember also that hardship is not forever. It is a chapter, not the entire book, because the human spirit has an incredible ability to heal, to rise, to rebuild. And while you may not see the path forward now, it will reveal itself as long as you keep moving one step at a time. Life is not about avoiding difficulty. It is about becoming the kind of person who can walk through the fire and come out refined rather than destroyed. And so when life gets hard, breathe deeply. Ground yourself in the truth that pain is temporary. Break down the challenge into small steps. Ask for help. Take care of your body and mind. Focus on what you can control. Practice gratitude. Assign meaning to your struggle. And above all, refuse to quit. Because every storm eventually runs out of rain. And if you keep moving, you will eventually find yourself standing in the sunlight again, stronger, wiser, and ready to face whatever comes next with courage and hope.